I wanna make you show me. Make we know the fight. No one sleep alone. Wanna hold you tight, but I fool my eyes. But I'll be alright. Forever. On my laptop. On my keto. On my sheet on. Say them go feel it. Them go run it down. Them go hold it. Them go. Say them go feel it. Them go run it down. Them go hold it. Them go. I'll be talking to myself, and I don't even notice. She got me feeling like a zombie, and she they shoot like Chuck Norris. The way she put her body down, you got me falling truly. I just touched down. When I see you now, serving on the phone, calling you tonight. I wanna make you show me, make we know the fight. I don't wanna sleep alone, wanna hold you tight. I pull my eyes, but I'll be alright. Forever. On my laptop, on my keto, on my sheet on. Say them go feel it, them go run it down, them go hold it, them go. Say them go feel it, them go run it down, them go hold it, them go. Shake it.
More music on trendybeats.com.
I know they want to see me fall, but I they stand it, I know they follow. Won't pay me or more Baba low. If you don't know, make you ask. I do go. But do the body, I been doing this in until Ibadu jail. Over say what's on the whatever you do, hope say you they make it up. I don't get time for Hana, I take it easy. I will, I'm on my way, that's it, I will. Lale Friday, Ibi, I'm will. I'm on my way to you, that's it, I will. Lale Friday, 50-50, we go share a man, like Ojoro. You don't get as you go do, I go know your color. I get your color, even when I shy you. My best soldier, yeah, madam, duro. Bedu the body, I be doing this in until Ibanu jail. Over say what's on the whatever you do, hope say you they make it up. I go get time for I take it easy. I will. I'm on my way, that's it, I Lale Friday, Ibi, I'm on my way to you, that's it, I Lale Friday, Ibi, I will. I'm on my way, that's it, I Lale Friday, Ibi, I'm on my way, that's it, I Friday. 50-50, we go share a man, like Ojoro.
Tune into the King of Sounds and Blues.
More music on trendybeats.com. trendybeats.com.
You know, hey, hey, Yamalo, Ilatimo, hey, Yamalo, hey, okay, Ilatimo, hey, nice. Come on, how you doing? Nice, that's good. Sure. Hey, my name and game, it's like it's so wet, make you go insane. Hey. I be the chosen one, I remain no para of Niger land. My brain drain, working all day, like say I know be my mate. The street keep urging me to do more. Once more I come with this brand new one, own animosity, I be the great one. I'm a boy, sure I'm beyond the beef now. But you more can, just like a melody. Alama shikata love bagado, ikimuji no story. I think you should know. So I beg you, Papa Olepe meji rabi. Apology for the most incredible. Atom Niger, step on Niger. Street credibility together. Check my fans, my life, my data. Don't be lie, yeah, don't be lie, yeah, don't be lie, don't be lie. No be lie, give me one love better. As I come here before you, I will talk as I see am. I no go use any sugar cover am. Call me your malam, and I know you understand am. I see go the stress and time, no dey use for grad form. I know we always peacefully do it very nicely. We always try to work hard. These two things are nice. Guaranteed, always nice and your money. I know it sounds like bragging, but it's true that I'm talking. Can't deny God's blessing. Right now we are at the zebra crossing. No cars are passing. It's just reality flashing. Oh, what you tell Alama? This one you know be Shakara. This one is solid confirm. The most incredible. Atom Niger, strip on Niger. Street credibility together. Check my fans, my life, my hair, don't be lie, yeah, don't be lie, yeah, don't be lie, baby, don't be lie, categorically I'm the best, mentally, no gainsaying, I'm the cutest, physically, don't doubt me, I go bring them Grammy, credible, remarkable, unbeatable, palatable, reliable, yeah, good, I think I'll do I come good, yeah, I'm made of the streets, why I no go blow? Originality work for me, why I no go show? I shall why they walk go so to that too. Now me the one to the street I belong. Enemy is a must if you want blue. I'm on that tongue by tongue. Like Baba God make you reach your tongue. This is last free, I'm a plenty fighter. Anyhow you go be, I'm a just walk on your way to the sun. The most incredible. Atom Niger, step on Niger. Street credibility together. Check my fans, my life, my hair, don't be lie, yeah, don't be lie, yeah, don't be lie, baby, no tatella, don't be lie, give me one love better, you're the most incredible, Atom Niger, step on Niger, street credibility together, check my fans, my life, my hair, don't be lie, yeah, don't be lie. Yeah, no be lie, baby, no tatella, no be lie, give me one love better. Okay, congrats, anywhere out of Niger. Straight from Nigeria, you are my African queen. Not a small thing. Straight from Nigeria, out of Nigeria, out of Nigeria. What is that on me? It's better than like LMG. What is that on me? It's better than like LMG.
More music on trendybeats.com.
Hello, can you guys hear me loud and clear? can hear me, please just react. Yeah. Thank
I can hear you.
All right. Do I have Mr. Joel, Zach, Sheo on the call? Are we good to go? Because I don't want us
Good
to
to
wait.
go.
Is Sheo on the call? Or Sheo is not taking any parts today?
I'll check on him now.
All right, 1 second. So, guys, let's wait for one of our guest speaker. Yeah, I hope it's not network issues. Yeah. So, guys, while we're waiting for him, yesterday we had a couple of sessions, yeah, and I believe it's impactful, and I just want to use privilege to say one or two things. That we're doing. Okay, Akita, it's 1 p.m. I guess we're in UK, right? If you're in UK, 1 p.m. UTC, 1 p.m. UTC is 1 p.m. in UK. So most likely that's why. But for people outside UK, maybe in Nigeria, 1 p.m. UTC, it's like 2 p.m. So I guess the timing sometimes could be confusing. So yeah, we'll wait for like additional 2-3 minutes. If you have some of your colleagues that you feel like they should be on this call, let's reach out to them. I feel like it's very, very important to say this, we've been making all efforts to ensure that people get acquainted with trends in technology. Actually, Copilot is one of the technology that is everybody needs to get used to at the moment, and this is very specific to say that everything we're doing in Evolveconnect, I'm going to say this and say this again and again, until people begins to understand. Maybe they need to understand why we're doing this. Yeah. The major thing we're doing in Evolveconnect is to impart knowledge and to impart the right knowledge that can actually leads you to a successful career path. It doesn't mean that I don't want people to have misconception because I'm directly linked with Amplify, working with Geek Plus Amplify, and some people always feel like maybe getting close to Evolveconnect gives them like an edge in getting gig. No, what give you an edge in getting gig? I'm saying it loud and clear. I'm live. I think I'm live. What give you an edge in getting gig anywhere is your knowledge. It's understanding the basics, the fundamentals. If anybody is telling you that there is gig anywhere, lying to you that if you train with them or do this, you have an automatic gig, it's a big lie. I'm saying this. So nobody should fall for that. And nobody should fall with that mentality. Maybe somebody inform you that, hey, Martin is program manager somewhere. If you train with Evolveconnect, that give you, it's a lie. What I'm doing here is practically to, expose to people to what they needed to know to be successful. Either you're in the gig or you're here to get your gig, what are the things that you needed to know? Practically, this is one of my role within the program to impart knowledge, to improve on operations, and you can improve on operations when people don't really understand the fundamentals. So I think the edge a lot of people is having is you're already getting the fundamental, even if you've not gotten any opportunity to work with any cloud or product-led organization. Now you're getting the fundamental for free, right? It only makes you a better person and makes you to be a little bit more successful when you get in. So I don't want Nigerians to be entitled, because there's sort of entitlement people always have, feeling like, it's my right. It's your right when you have all the fundamentals and go for it yourself. So in Evolveconnect, or personally for me, what I do is impart knowledge, narrow down what knowledge is needed for you to be, successful in getting your job, either a gig or any roles that you find yourself as far as M365 is concerned, that makes you be successful, from the product led. And at the same time, when there are opportunities, either you train with the Evolveconnect or you don't train with Evolveconnect, for the fact that you are connected with our community, because we're building the community here, I give the opportunity to everyone. I try to, expose, special opportunities to as much as people that we could, So I just feel like it very, very much to let people understand that, please find the knowledge first. Knowledge is very, very fundamental to success. It's when you get the knowledge, you get what it takes, to be successful. Trust me, the speed at which you used to, the speed of your career growth to be very, very high. This is just like a side talk. Because I had a chat with a guy yesterday, and I begin to see some mentality that I feel like people need to change their mindset about. So that being said, part of our dedication, to people, is to keep, helping them to get, what are the trends that can actually make them successful. And as of today, if I'm not going to lie to you, if you're working in any product led, Copilot is one product that you needed to know. You need to acquaint yourself with using for as your companion. So yesterday, Zach, let me know when Sean is there. Or how is you guys going to start, right? Either Sean is there or not. Is that good? Zach, Joe. Joel, are you on this call, Zach?
Yes, I'm here.
With or without Sean, you people can start, yeah? Because I know that you people are. Oh, perfect. All right, so I'll just use that to do like a recap of what we did yesterday. So yesterday we had the recap on, the generation of AI itself. So I don't mind this, and we tried to actually look into what's OpenAI and how Microsoft actually, empowering individual and organizations on the planet, to use AI for their companion.
Trendy Beat.
We look at AI technology in general, the trends. So it doesn't just start yesterday; it has been there. And we look at some, fundamental statistics on research that has to do with AI. Tell you that the 1K plus, researchers employed worldwide, over 3K plus AI research paper published. So just tell you that Copilot is just one aspect. There are a lot of, artificial intelligence applications out there, a lot of them. So if you are blessed to start looking into all these things, it's actually enlarge your knowledge about it. And trust me, this is the next big thing in terms of job. Like in my organization, we're looking like employing over 300 people to start supporting Copilot in a couple of months. Trust me, and you can't just say that you want to employ people if you don't know about it. If you can, even it's not an excuse. I don't have the license to try it, I don't have the this. It's not an excuse. If you're going for an interview, those ones are not an excuse. So the statistics at the moment in the next 1 year, trust me, Copilot is going to be the talk of the town. And in every product led, trust me, you can't be successful without knowledge of Copilot from the adoption point, from the user adoption point, from the product led point, for internal use to drive productivity, to drive customer experience, and that's why I would say either with Evolveconnect or without Evolveconnect, anywhere you find yourself, or on LinkedIn where they're talking about Copilot, please try to gather as much knowledge so that when you have that opportunity, for job roles, you're gonna kill it. And when you get in there, you're gonna, be successful in it. So we have a lot of innovations forged by AI innovations forged by research. We show you some statistics yesterday, and there are a couple of videos. I also want us to watch the video again that we showed yesterday. So let's have a look again about the perception of Copilot 1 year ago. So let's enjoy this video once again.
Good morning.
Watch me.
anyone, anywhere, any device, Copilot, your companion, I think that's just summary of that. So let's also check this out together.
1 year ago, at the dawn of a new age, we took the first bold step into a world of unlimited possibilities.
We're going to get to think about how we use our imagination to solve some of the biggest problems in the world.
It allows for the patient and doctor to be a patient and a doctor, like it used to be.
With AI as your co-pilot, you are supercharging innovation.
It's like reading my mind. It's magic.
You built new solutions and inspired us to imagine more.
In our journey of generative AI, we have over 700 use cases across all divisions and functions, so we really see a big impact.
Copilot makes day-to-day life easier, so you can spend your time thinking how I want to improve the experience for people learning a language.
This technology has the potential to completely reimagine the way every single student learns in the world.
It enables our people to get back to what they're brilliant at.
You redefined the art of collaboration.
I've been using Copilot on exciting problems that are having real impacts in people's lives.
I can just go home and be like, yeah, I did that. I'm a superhuman. I've done something amazing.
This is the age of co-pilots.
All right, this is the age of Copilot, So yesterday, we had some practical scenario where some of you actually recreate some image, I tried to paint some scenarios of my childhood. I have a very good friend. He plays piano, and I plays guitar, and I see a lot of people recreating their own image too. I also try to recreate a scenario that I see myself in a couple of years. I always dream I want to be a professor, but I'm no longer in that line of being a professor. Maybe I'm going to be like public speaker. I try to paint that. So which means that with Copilot, you can also create, and that's why I'm also going to be telling you people today, this is why you should abandon, Firefox, and you people should just start using Edge, because there are a lot of integrated AI in Edge now, where you can actually recreate, image. Even there are chats, integrated AI on Edge, where you can actually, get your writing summarized or situations like that. So please, Edge is better than, this is my own opinion, Edge is better than all these, browsers that we have today. So Zach showed us this yesterday, and you can see recreate as much, you can imagine anything and you can create it. You want to do a presentation, so you're trying to bring it into a creativity, of designs to your presentation. Using Bing Create, you can actually make this happen. Zach also take us through, what is Copilot, the combination of Copilot and the licensing, the Copilot from X365 systems, he also looks at the data security. All these things are very, very important. Especially for people working in product led, you can't talk about Copilot without understanding, the architecture, the LLMS, and how it actually utilizes the graph, data for processing of, whatever information that you're using Copilot to process, and in fact, in terms of security, everybody, you're talking to a client, you're talking to customers, they want to be sure of how safe their data are, so understanding the in-depth of how we handle data security, even with Copilot and other areas, is very, very important. So maybe you might need to watch yesterday's. If you're not here yesterday, you might need to rewatch it and see how Zach actually look into that and breaks it down. We also talk into the licensing. How do you want to talk about Copilot when you don't understand what license? What Copilot doesn't just works alone. Yeah, it's like an add-on to your license. You can't talk about all those things, in product-led environment. If you don't understand the license, I'm saying again, if it is only the licensing that you understand and the features of each licensing and how it applies and how it can actually drive productivity, plus, the soft skills that PJ, showcased yesterday, you'll be successful than the most technical person in M365. It's not about technical. Age of today is it's not about how technical you. That's what makes you successful. You heard PJ saying yesterday that she's not technical. Yeah, and she's not, and she was the most successful among us back then. and I was fast, very, very technical back then. But I think I'm one of the worst in terms of sources. And how do you measure your sources? It's in terms of impact. So if you feel like technicality, it's over, how you manage customer, how you engage with customer, it's far differs. So if you ask me, I would say, work on your non-tech part aspect that deals with customer management, then understand some fundamentals, then grow, build on it. Today, right, I said that I would say that I'm a bit successful because I was able to master the art of customer, management in product-led environment, plus the fact that I'm technical, plus the fact that I'm more of an operational person. It gives me an edge, So I would say, you need to understand the licensing, because it's only when you understand how Copilot integrates, what it integrates with, that's when you can actually have this kind of conversation in product-led. So we had this conversation yesterday, and SAC was able to give in-depth of every damn thing, even with the Microsoft Graph, how it works. I would advise you to, if you're not here yesterday, please rewatch those videos. We have it on our YouTube channel. Of course, if you are not following us, please, it's an avenue to follow us on our YouTube channel. Just look for Evolveconnect, and try to just click the follow button. I don't know if any of my colleagues on the call, you can drop the channel for people. Let's follow the channel, because often we'll be putting most of our content here, and you can always get ads on those content and then get some education about it. Also yesterday, Mr. Shion, I call him teacher, and I believe that you enjoyed him, the way he teaches. He was able to show us integration of Copilot in Word. Because as I've said, you need to understand the fact that Copilot it's not a standalone application. It's not a standalone license. It actually combines with other existing licensing to drive your productivity. So let's have a look of the video, just like a summarized video of, what Mr. Shin took us through yesterday. And let's see how Copilot has actually been, performing wonders, in Microsoft Word. Let's see this.
Copilot in Microsoft 365 can help you unleash creativity at work. Imagine you need to create a rock-solid proposal to win the business, and you don't have time for writer's block. You can use Copilot to draft a proposal based on your customer notes in OneNote, as well as another internal document. Copilot scans the target files and gets to work, quickly generating a first draft with all the key details from the files you provided. Now, let's say you want this to look like your previous proposals. Copilot can give you a draft in the format you typically use. It inserts product images and pulls in relevant visuals from other files. You can include a short summary at the top of the document. And Copilot can make suggestions to strengthen the proposal, like adding an FAQ, which it will generate for you to refine.
There's no customer you try to explain, in fact, how this is going to actually improve their productivity, makes life better, that is not going to buy into it. There's no customer, there's no client that you're working with in terms of from the deployment. I'm not even talking from the supply, from the support angle, that you try to let them see the feature of how they can actually save more time in productivity, that they won't buy into all these things. It's all about what actually fits into the business needs. And I would say, guys, if you can try to understand in depth of how this works, is very, very important, because this everyday conversation, this is the new direction of Microsoft at the moment. So yesterday, Mr. Shion emphasized more on how Copilot works, and I think we had fun with it. Yesterday, we also talked about Copilot in Outlook. I'm not going to play the video. We'll drop the video for us, and I think we talk about several things. I use this very well in my organization now, because sometimes I want to compose emails. I don't want to, sometimes you get some response, you get some emails, you are that kind of angry, and I want a situation where Copilot can actually manage my anger, and still deliver the information, diplomatically, without showing the fact that maybe I'm angry. That's why I have it as a companion, and trust me, email is one of the core aspects of every organization, right? There's no way how you want to use it, it's quite important, that I feel like Copilot in Outlook is one of the things that you people should look into. So that was yesterday, and today, we're taking it forward to see what of PowerPoint. Today, either you are working anywhere anywhere you work, you need to present one or two things for your clients, or you're engaging with customers that actually using PowerPoint to present one or two things for their client, we want to talk about how you can actually, integrate Copilots to drive productivity. So I'll leave the floor for my colleagues to continue where we stopped yesterday, and I hope at the end of today's session, we must have gotten one or two things about how Copilot is actually integrating with Microsoft licenses and Microsoft products. And hopefully in our next session, we'll be having a real life scenario where we can actually, have a hands-on on how these things works. But for now, we are too poor to get the license. Hopefully, we'll be very rich in a couple of weeks, and someone can bless us to have one license, then we can actually have this repro. But that's by the way, but we're working towards that to ensure that, we continue to have an impactful section. So over to you, sure. Thank you, Tim.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone.
I can stop sharing, right?
Yeah, but I would want you to help me play the video.
Of course,
yes. So for PowerPoint. So let's watch this video, then I can dive in. You can help me play it now.
Ready for your customer pitch meeting. Everyone has had a moment when they wish they could turn their proposal into a customer-ready presentation without having to start from scratch. Now you can, using just your own words. Copilot can translate Word into PowerPoint. You can also translate PowerPoint into Word. Now you have a professional-looking presentation that you can hone and polish. Let's say you want to add a slide. Give Copilot some quick instructions. There it goes, ready for you to review. So this slide is too wordy. Let's ask Copilot to make it more visual. Give it a few seconds. And check this out. Copilot can even animate the slide. It gives it a professional design treatment in a single click. But it doesn't stop there. Copilot even generates speaker notes for all your slides. It's not only a time saver, it's helping you be a better presenter.
Thank you for that. Okay, so guys, as you've seen, all right, I would like to lay an emphasis on the use of Copilot itself. Think of it as an AI assistant. All right, I'm going to be sharing my screen now. Just a moment. So think of it as the AI assistant, somebody or that automated guy behind the scene that makes your work easy. Just a moment. I'm trying to share my screen. Can you see my screen, please? Can you all see my screen? Can you confirm that, Joe?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. I just want to confirm, is it in a presentation mode?
No, it's in the slide view.
The slide view. Okay, I've changed that. I think Okay, just a moment. Let me just stop this sharing. Sorry for that, guys. Okay, so just a moment. Let me quickly find that out for us. Okay, I think I found it. Sorry. Yes, so you should see it now. All right. So talking about PowerPoint, we know it's an application that we use for a presentation majorly. So to present whatever is it we ideate. So now think of the next level thing in presentation where you have to do less in terms of designing the interface to use to actually present your work or to actually make it beautify your presentation. Now, this is where Copilot comes in to give you the idea to let me say blow up your imagination in how you can do things in terms of presentation in PowerPoint. So one of the major functionality is the presentation creation. All right. So if you can just tell Copilot in PowerPoint to create a presentation for you. All right. So all you have to do is provide a topic. And once you do that, it's going to automatically generate a presentation for you. Now, you now need to bring up your own creative skill and then ask it to make some modification. Now, you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just tell it to do it and it will be done. Another major functionality is you have a written document already in Word and you would like to probably change that to PowerPoint. Quite easy for Copilot. It will run through the document and then create a very beautiful and very presentable presentation. All right, to you. So making life easy for you, making your job easy and making you more productive. Imagine you having this tool at hand and think of what you can do. You just have to get creative and open up your imagination and you'll be there. So talking about limitations now, because we always have limitations to this. So creating a presentation from file is not available for to Copilot. That is Copilot Pro users. You know, we have two set of users. We have Microsoft 365 Copilot, then we have Copilot Pro. So if you're using Microsoft 365 Copilot, it is available. If you have Copilot Pro license, then it's not available to you. All right. So for Microsoft 365 users now, creating a presentation based on single word file is supported. All right, as we said before, and this can be done by you need to type a prompt, like a keyword that is the backslash. All right, so no, the forward slash. Sorry. So once you use the forward slash, then you can reference the desired file, and it will work for you. But you just need to know that that forward slash needs to come first. Then the name of the file you are referencing, you are trying to create a presentation with. So word limit also. Remember we talked about word limit in Word, then it will also apply to PowerPoint. So Copilot currently it limits the number of words you can process per prompt. All right. So I think I said 2,000 characters. So remember, same applies to PowerPoint. So that is basically how it works, that in PowerPoint. Then we can move to Excel because we are addressing all the Office applications. So talking about Excel, I have a video. I don't know, I don't have a good sound system here that can boost the sound for you guys, but just follow through. All right.
I can help.
So,
You want me to?
Okay, please do. Thank you.
Sure, 1 second.
Okay. Thank you.
Copilot in Excel helps you make sense of all your data. Say you need to analyze this quarter's sales results. You start by asking Copilot to analyze the data and give you 3 key trends. Within seconds, you've got what you need, but you want to drill in. You ask Copilot a follow-up question about one of the trends. Copilot creates a new sheet, giving you a sandbox to play in and helping you better understand what's happening. You ask Copilot to visualize what contributed to the decline in sales growth this period. Copilot adds a little color to make the problem jump off the page. Now you want to dig deeper and ask a follow-up question with a what-if scenario. Copilot not only answers your question, it creates a simple model and even asks if you want to learn more about what it did with a step-by-step breakdown. Finally, you can ask it to create a graph of your projected model. Copilot in Excel turned a sea of data into clear insights and actions.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so that's another, let me say, another interesting aspect for Copilot. Now, think of, I know most of us, many of us don't really use Excel to its maximum use. Majorly, we think Power BI is the new guy for data visualization, and then Excel is just for gathering data sets and all. Now, Copilot in Excel is a transformative change that is going to make users, those that love to use Excel, make them more productive in the sense that all you need to do is gather the data. Then the rest will be done by Copilot in the sense that it's going to help you to visualize the data. Just tell it what to do. Like, okay, could you help visualize the data or transform this data? And then Copilot will get to work to transform the data set. Another thing it does is it can create a kind of graphical representation of your data, making you have informed decision of how your data is working, or what is working and what is not working in the data set. So another interesting part is you can just tell Copilot to change your font size, apply font color, and then do whatever, let me say, editing you want to do to the graphical representation that it's producing for you. So in Excel, majorly we know we work with data, and those data, we use those data to make informed decision. Now, how do you now make it more productive? Use Copilot to come up with visualization, all right? Sorting, creating formulas. For me, I don't use Excel that much, so probably I only create average or some formulas. Now, imagine those complex formula. You want to create a complex formula. You don't need to rack your head around it, or you don't need to start Googling. No, all you have to do is ask Copilot, and it will just come true for you. So it's it's a game changer, I must say. And whoever got his hand on this is, if you have access to it, you have access to, all right, becoming something. Just think it and do it. That's Copilot for you. So that takes us to the limitation, because we will always have it. Remember, language support. All right, for Copilot for Excel, all right, it understands prompt in some certain languages: English, Chinese, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Portuguese. The Portuguese is the Brazilian type. We have different variation. Then Spanish. So for Copilot Pro, Excel is currently only available in English. For those using Copilot Pro, we have two types: Microsoft 365 Copilot, then Copilot Pro. So you just have to know that. Then workbook size. All right. So Copilot in Excel work for tables that up to 2 million cells. All right. So some skills like, let's say, formula, column, suggestions, and sorting and filtering they don't have a limit on the amount of data you can interact with. But it's definitely going to take time to, let me say, walk through this data set. If you have large data set, and then to get a response, you might be getting a slow response from Copilot, because it has to read through the long or the large data set you have. So that is one of the limitations, the speed when it comes to working on data, large amount of data. So we might take that into consideration. All right. Then file location and type. So Copilot in Excel can only be used with Excel files, and the recognized file is XLSX or the XSLM. So and it has to be saved in OneDrive or SharePoint for it to be to work on those files. Then autosave must be turned on also in Excel. So the Copilot button is not active when editing files saved in other locations on your computer. So it has to be saved in OneDrive or SharePoint for the Copilot button to be active, so that you can interact with it and then get creative with it. All right. So I'm moving to Teams now, which is, I think, the last part of our Office applications we've not addressed. And please, Oga Martins, could you please help with this? Thank you. Okay.
In Teams makes every meeting a productive one. Here, you're in a meeting with your team. You can ask Copilot to summarize what's happened so far. Copilot summarizes who said what and what points were made, capturing the spirit of the discussion. And as the meeting progresses, you can check in on where people stand. You can even ask Copilot what questions are unresolved. It is just amazing to see this happen in real time during a meeting.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you for that, bro. So now we move to Teams. All right. So speaking of Teams, I'm coming. I think I shared the wrong. Just a moment, guys. Can you see my screen? Okay, I'm coming. Just a moment. Okay. Yeah. So you should see my screen now. So talking about Copilot in Teams. All right. Those things you do in Teams is just like those things you do in Teams. Now think of automating them, or think of the next level to how you summarize threads. Let's say, for example, you've had communications over 30 days with the CEO of the company, and you would like to just get a grasp or summary of what you've discussed over 30 days. You know, that is hard for you to scroll up and then start reading your CEO's response word for word. So here, Copilot can be your assistant to summarize that for you. It's just going to read through, then make a summary of what your CEO has said to you over the past 30 days. So think of that. It's making a lot of sense. So another thing is it enables you to make points out of long threads. Let's say you have long threads of communication and you want to be like, okay, what is the actual point of this thread? What was discussed? What is the way forward? And what's going to be the outcome? Then Copilot will get to work to do that for you in real time. All right. So another aspect of it is the meeting aspect. So it's Copilot has this way in Teams to use attendees' tone in meeting to know if they are in disagreement or if they are in alignment with the subject of discussion in real time. So it gives you this heads up, like, okay, this is what is happening. This is where this conversation is going to. So in Teams, in meeting, it does that in real time. So another thing is it helps latecomers to summarize the meeting, give them a kind of catch up. Like, okay, this is what has been discussed over time before you came. So you can just read through, catch up, and then move on. So another thing is it gives insights on the transcript during the meeting. That means, you know, when you're having a meeting, we have that functionality now where the meeting is being transcribed. Whatever is said is being transcribed, and then when it transcribes it, Copilot will summarize its transcription, it will give you an insight into the transcription. So it makes a lot of sense, and it will make life much more easy. All right, so another thing is it generates meeting notes. It lists the items. It suggests questions for you after meeting. So once it suggests those questions, you can just throw that question in Q&A, all right, for attendees. So you don't need to just rack your head around what question should I ask in this meeting. No, just ask Copilot to do that for you. And it will generate those questions, relatable question within the context of the meeting, within the subject, and it throws it up to the users to follow through. So wrapping up meeting now is another functionality it does. It helps to summarize the key discussion. It identifies next actionable steps you have. Then it also addresses the topics. It resolves the outstanding issues from the agenda. You know, now in Teams, you can create agenda and follow through. Copilot will read through the agenda, see if the agenda, if every point in the agenda has been discussed, then it comes up with let me say a summary of what the next activity should be, and if what should happen next, making an informed decision, or let me say giving an insight to what should be discussed next. So practically that is that on Teams. So another functionality, so when we talk about Microsoft Copilot, all right, so it has its own chat box too, just as we have in PowerPoint and in Word. All right, so you can ask Copilot to access all your Teams chat experience, and it also has this way of integrating emails and meeting in Outlook. So it integrates the emails and meetings in Outlook, relatable emails that are, let me say, related emails and Teams meeting in Outlook, or Outlook meetings rather. So it brings up these two functionality together, access them, and then give you a summary. All right. So it also use Microsoft Copilot in Teams. It also allows for you to let me say, where you can see it. I mean, the position now is right at the top of the page of your Teams page. So the Copilot page uses a Microsoft Copilot with a graph grounded chart. It uses this graph grounded chart to access Teams and Outlook data. So that means Copilot in Teams now, Microsoft Copilot itself, integrates Teams and Outlook together. Remember, they work hand in hand in terms of creating meetings too. So that it uses this graph grounded chart to assess your Teams and Outlook data and can give you an insight. All right, it provides suggestion, recommendations also based on the context or the subject of discourse. So Copilot in Teams, it assesses your Teams chat experience. It doesn't assess organization data outside of Teams. So two types, Microsoft Copilot and Copilot in Teams. So they have varying functionality, but the greater one that is much more effective is the Microsoft Copilot, which integrates with Outlook. All right, but in Teams the Copilot in Teams works within, let me say, the scope of Teams. All right, so anything outside Teams, it doesn't work on those data or any information outside of Teams. So it's available by default with Copilot if you have the subscription. Then it also helps you get up to speed. That means it synthesizes key information across Teams chat. So giving you an informed decision, providing insights to you, boosting your ideas and your imagination, just making you more creative, all right, among your peers. So empowering employees through Microsoft Copilot grounded chat. Still continuing on this. So how do you utilize Microsoft Copilot in Microsoft Bing? So this is quite, let me say, interesting and easy, but you need to have, for most of us, if you have a Microsoft 365 license already, you have access to this in your browser. Let me see, I won't be able to share this, but in your browser, in Microsoft Bing now, if you just try to search for anything, you see the Copilot icon, all right, top right, it's going to be there. So if you click on it, it's going to give you this graph grounded chart. Then all you have to do is ask it to do something for you. All right, so we have the work mode, we have the web mode. All right, so data from Microsoft 365 account, from emails, meeting, and chat. When you use the work mode, it utilizes this data to personalize your experience within this. If you're using the work mode, but if you're using the web mode, it uses let me say it generates data or information from the internet. All right, so that is practically that. Then another thing it does when it is in work mode is it enhances our productivity. All right, productivity, creativity, and then giving you let me say business ideas. All right, putting your data into use, then coming up with ideas that you can use those data for. So for the web mode, it provides, let me say, better answers to complex questions. You can use it for majorly coding too. Just put in your code and it will help you correct the code, or it can help you modify the code to whatever you want it to do. All right, so and that is practically what you can do with Microsoft Copilot in Bing. And we have two types of it, the work mode and the web mode. Web mode relates directly with data, with internet, straight up generate data or information from the internet. Work mode utilizes data within your Outlook, meeting, and chat. So it's personalized your experience when it is in work mode. It is a general experience when it is in web mode. Okay, so I think now going to the art and science now of working with AI. I'm going to push this to Joel. All right. So Joel is grounded in this as my boss. Then he's going to take care of this for us. Thank you very much, guys. Joel, are you there? So can we make the switch?
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. I believe that we've been having a nice time with Mr. Sheung on board. Thank you all for being available today. Very quickly, I'm going to just bring up my screen so we can take a look at a few things. And then I'm also going to try and do some kind of paint. I like working with paint a lot, so it helps us to get some kind of picture that will help us to better understand the concept. Okay, so I'll be bringing up my screen shortly. Please let me know once you're able to see my screen. So just 1 second. Yeah, thank you. Now, when we talk about Copilot, we are going to be looking at Copilot in the context of being, what's it called now, a science and both an art, okay? Now, Copilot can be anything you want it to be, depending on how you are able to engage with it. I give an example. You come to a class, a chemistry class, and then you want your chemistry, you have a question for your chemistry teacher. Now, sometimes you may ask a question and then based on the context of that question, the kind of answer you will get will differ, right? You go to see your doctor and you say, I'm having a headache. And then the doctor begins to do some scoping. Okay, when has this headache been? When did it start? Have you taken any medication? Do you feel fatigue? The reason for all that is to enable the doctor to understand the idea behind why that headache actually exists. Now, basically, what is the doctor trying to do? If we are relating this to Copilot, we are talking about being able to fine-tune your prompts, in order to get the desired output. So in this context, Copilot produce an art in terms of communication, science in terms of running through the research and providing you the expected results that you want. So if you want to get an effective result from Copilot, then we cannot do away with proper prompt creation. Okay. Now, looking at how it's able to quickly provide you responses. Let me quickly show us something with Paint very quickly. So let me drop the screen and bring up my Paint so we can see something. Just bear with me. Let me bring up Paint. Great. I believe you can all see my Paint now, right?
Yes.
Now let's say you have your application like this. You have your what's it called now? You have your office application, right here. So let me call this apps. Now let me say you have Copilot right here. So let's call this Copilot. Okay. Now we talked about various components that makes up Copilot yesterday. We talked about the large language model. We talked about a Microsoft Graph, and then we talked about your office applications you are engaging with, and then how Copilot is able to do a lot of interaction with this particular stuff, right? So let's say we have a large language model here. Let's call this LLM. Now, of course, when we talk about LLM, we are talking about several machine learning algorithms that comes together to form for you a large language model. These language models are built on machine learning algorithms, okay? And what is the goal of this? Is to enable Copilot to be able to generate content, create content, and then of course, why Copilot goes about creating content. You want to ensure that your organization's compliance boundary is maintained, right? Meaning that whoever has access to what information should be the only person that could query or get Copilot, do some manipulation from that particular content. Now, let's say we have our Microsoft Graph here, where it's connecting to your various data sources. Now, the data sources can be data you have in SharePoint, data you have in your mailbox, data you have in your in Microsoft Teams, data you have in documents you have in OneDrive, and all that. Just basically the data that you have access to. Now, this can be extended with maybe things like your graph connectors to external data sources, maybe data you have in Salesforce, in Jira, and the likes. Now, it all starts with your prompts. So take a look at this. You have a prompt coming from your office application to Copilot. Now, when Copilot receives this prompt, what does Copilot do? Copilot takes this prompt and then performs what we call grounding. You must have heard Mr. Shion talk about grounding. It does a grounding and then comes this way to your graph. Now, this grounding happens, and then what does it do? It refines your prompt. For example, you say, help me pull up data about maybe XYZ project. Maybe there are contents in your organization that already discuss about XYZ project. Now, Copilot does this grounding, refine the prompt you have provided. After refining the prompt, it comes to Graph API and then try to spool those data, right? When it spools the data, what does it do next? Graph sends that response back to Copilot. Of course, it is not going to send it to you to Copilot in readable human format. So what happens? Copilot then picks this response and sends it to the large language model. Now, this guy looks at the content that was generated by the Graph API sent to Copilot and does the refining of that particular response and make it in a human readable format, which is essentially in the language you can understand, right? Once it has created that content. Now, normally you should expect that it should send a response straight to you, but of course it will not do that. Instead, it sends the response back to Copilot, and then Copilot comes back to Graph and say, okay, we've been able to get this content. Does Mr. A have the permission to view this content? It wants to maintain the compliance boundary, right? If Mr. A does not have the permission to view that content, definitely the response will not go back to the application where the response was made from. If it verifies that user has the permission to view the content, then it sends back through Copilot, the response, and then the end user gets that response from the host application. This is essentially how Copilot works in terms of your prompt and how responses are provided to the various questions that you may be asking. Now, this can be data you have in Teams, data you have in SharePoint, data you have in Excel, data you have in OneDrive, data you have in your mailbox. Imagine you've been away from work for about 5 days, and then you need to catch up to speed with what has been discussed in your absence. Just imagine you are on leave, your annual leave, and then you just came back after 10 days of annual leave. Several emails have been sent in your absence. If your mailbox is a very busy mailbox, you may have up to 100 or 1,000 of emails that have been sent to you within those 10 days. Of course, you might have had a backup person that gets a copy of the email that was sent in your absence, but you need to get to speed with the things that has happened in your absence. So with Copilot, you can easily just come through the the Microsoft 365 chat in Copilot, and then engage in prompts. Hey, I have been away for the past 10 days on my annual leave. I know I must have gotten some important emails within these last 10 days. Can you provide me the summary of the most important emails that were sent to me that I need to action immediately? And Copilot will go to your mailbox. Look at the tons of emails you've gotten within those 10 days. Look at the emails that are very important within those emails. Look at, out of those very important emails, look at the emails that require you to action them immediately and provide you that response straight from the Microsoft 365 chat within Copilot. Is that not wonderful? Making your work much easier and seamless. Now, so we talk about how Copilot does this. It is part of the things that makes Copilot have edge over all other solution you have in the industry today, as far as content generation and manipulation of content and getting content to actually provide you a better insight is being provided with Copilot. So it empowers you to make your work more productive, increasing productivity for your organization and reducing the time it requires to actually do most of these things. Now, when we talk about you working with AI, what should be your response? Definitely, it is not expected that because of there's an AI in town now, then you suddenly ask AI to become the boss. No. From the name Copilot, as Mr. Martins will always say, it is co. It starts with you and ends with you. Okay, so it starts as a partner to you, making your job more seamless, but does not replace you in the job itself. Okay, it helps you to collaborate very quickly, providing you data that you should have access to within the snap of finger, and then making things more easy for you to accomplish. Make your work more flexible and help you to work, build rapid collaboration in Teams, for example. If you have a Microsoft team and then there are a long thread of conversation, you just want to catch up with a particular conversation and say, can you provide me a summary of this specific conversation? And then Copilot will go through the long thread of chat and then provide you just that specific conversation that you want to pay attention to. Okay, so it helps you to be more flexible and work in your team, making you more productive. Now, talking about, like I said earlier, your Copilot is as good as your prompt. Proper prompting makes Copilot work in an exceptional manner. So how do you build your prompt to make sure Copilot gives you the right thing? Because Copilot can give you the wrong thing based on the perception of the kind of prompt you have provided. So in that context, it is not wrong. It is right based on the information you have given to it. But for you, the response you are getting is not the right response. In your own regard, Copilot is wrong. But in the context of the application itself, Copilot is correct. So your prompt determines the kind of response you get Copilot to provide for you. Okay, now let's look at how you have Copilot lift the weight of your work. Now, we've talked about the fact that you have a whole lot of things to catch up with. Just imagine that you have a deadline to catch up with. You have a presentation to produce, and then you have a limit of time. You can engage Copilot to create your presentation for you from your document. If you have a document, you can engage Copilot to create the presentation from the scratch for you, providing you the slide outline and then the content of the slide, as well as presenters notes that can make your presentation more seamless and more easy for you to work on, helping you to manage the time. Imagine you have to sit down and think everything you need to do all by yourself. Copilot says, don't worry, let me do the thinking for you. But of course, you don't lift and use. You have to verify, validate that what you have gotten is exactly what you expect Copilot to have produced for you. Okay, now talking about prompts, whenever you are to engage Copilot with your prompt should be clear as possible. Now, when Copilot provides you response, you should, of course, the response to be providing for you will most likely be correct. But because this is an artificial intelligence, you want to verify that the result you got is exactly what you have in mind. So you must skim through the content provided for you and then make sure it actually suits what you intend to achieve and then aligns with professional standard within the industry you find yourself. Of course, regular feedbacks are ways to get Copilot to keep doing something. Okay, so we keep providing feedback. If you take a look at when Mr. Shin was presenting, looking at the videos, you will have seen that there are spots there. You have the thumbs down and the thumbs up. These are used to provide feedback to Copilot, which gets sent to the development team to further analyze what feedbacks you are providing. If the feedbacks are not, if Copilot is at some point not meeting your expectation, all this can be sent as feedback to Copilot, and then the development team are able to get that as insight that helps them to further look into enhancing the functionalities provided by Copilot. Now, as much as possible, you have to avoid over-reliance on artificial intelligence solutions. This goes with Copilot, with ChatGPT, with all other AI solutions that are especially tailored towards content generation or generative artificial intelligence. So you must ensure that you do not over-rely on these tools for everything. While they provide you resources, you must always make sure you go through those content and be sure that they meet up what you have in mind before utilizing them. Of course, it helps you unlock your productivity and your creativity by giving you innovations, ideas that you can actually leverage on to be able to push your stuff even much further. We've talked about the security and compliance concerns, how Copilot is able to maintain the boundaries between your security as well as compliance requirements. We mentioned yesterday about how Copilot handles encrypted emails. Encrypted emails are definitely emails that you feel they are confidential. So Copilot definitely don't have access to those kind of content as of today. But in the near future, we should have some innovations around Copilot on how the integrity of the sources of these emails can be verified, and Copilot is able to have access to such content. Okay, now, so of course, we keep getting updates, and then we keep seeing more language support coming in very soon. Copilot being able to do a lot of languages. As of now, we have limitations with Polish languages and some other languages. Highest support for Copilot today is with English language. Of course, it has support for other languages, but the terms of number of content, characters, and all that, English language actually is currently the highest consumed language for Copilot. Okay, now when you build your prompt, you must have a goal in mind. You must have your context. You must set the expectation, and where should the sources that Copilot will get the data from come from. For example, you want to send an email. Your goal is that you want to send an email. What is the context of the email? Who are you sending the email to? What is the purpose of the email? Are there expectations that you are trying to meet? What is the purpose? What is the expectation you have the end user or the recipient of the email to get from the email you are sending? And do you have locations where you want Copilot to generate the content for this email from? Of course, you have to also specify the source. So when you are engaging Copilot in your prompt, you must note what your goal is, what should be the context, do you have any expectation in mind, and do you have specific sources where you want Copilot to get the content from. It may be maybe you want Copilot to get content from a specific Teams meeting. It may be that you want Copilot to send an email to as a follow-up email to the participants of a specific meetings. So you can say, I want to send a follow-up email. That is a goal. What is the context based on the conversation of this meeting? So now you have narrowed it. I want to send email to the participant of this meeting. The email should be based on the conversation. I want to highlight the points of the discussion and the key sources or the key resolutions that we arrived at in this meeting. Now, you've already narrowed the source that it will be in that specific meeting. You've set the expectation that I want bullet points of action plans that are to be carried out by users. And then what is the context? The meeting, the discussion of the meeting can be provided as well. So with that, you can have Copilot able to create a well-tailored content for you, confined to the content generated from that specific meeting. So you need to understand when you set your prompts and how to effectively create prompts that will give you what you have in mind as your desired goal. Okay. Now, let's take a look at this. For example, generate 3 to 5 bullet points to prepare me for a meeting with client X to discuss on the phase 3 plus brand campaign focused on email, Teams chat since June. Please use simple language I can get up to speed quickly. Now that's a prompt. You have something in mind, and then you want to go for a meeting, right? You have a meeting, and then you need Copilot to prepare something for you that you can use on that in that meeting. If you take a look at this, you specify who the client is. You specify the phase for the brand campaign you are doing. You specify the source where the content should come from Teams chat and from emails. And you specify the duration since June. And you've also set the expectation of just make the language as simple as possible so that I can catch up to speed very quickly. Now, that is making your prompts to come. Now, take a look at the next one. Generate 3 to 5 bullet points to prepare for a meeting with client X to discuss phase 3 brand campaign. Focus on chats since June. Please use. Now, if you take a look at this, if you see the points that I've highlighted here to prepare me for a meeting, that means I have a meeting I want to attend. Who am I having the meeting with? Client X. Now, when Copilot is going to go to do the search, it has something in mind that there's a client called Client X that we have had chats and email thread for a period of time. But I want to get something from that, our conversation for just 3 months, for just since June. Yes. And then if we're in September, for example, June, July, August, September, that's about 4 months. So Copilot will not go longer than that particular discussion and pull out for you all those kind of things you are looking at. Now, if you take a look at it, you can see the third part here. It is we are still elaborating the same thing. The first thing is that what you want to generate 3 to 5 points. The second thing is that what you want to prepare for a meeting with a specific client on a particular project. The next thing is where should Copilot focus on? Since chat since June. And what should Copilot make use of? Simple language that you can easily catch up to. Now, if you see that, you've been able to build a very good prompt that Copilot can easily relate with and help you to generate your content. Now, when we talk about your content should be very clear and precise. Don't make use of jargon. Use simple language. Make use of language that can easily be understood. Now, you can try different styles. You can look at the tone, your tone. You can take a look at your writing styles. Maybe you're a person that likes to put your things in terms of maybe illustration. So if you like illustration, for example, you can ask Copilot to paint and illustrate. You can say, okay, paint an illustration while you are preparing this, paint a picture, come up with an illustration that will help me buttress this point. Now, that is a style. Some people like giving illustration as part of their styles of communication. Now, you can say, okay, I want to just create a point of view which answer maybe you want Copilot to provide specific bullet points. Those are points. Put it in points. Maybe you also want maybe things like a role play. For example, say as a software engineer, I'm starting the responsibility of building an application for this particular purpose. The application is supposed to address this. I'm going for a presentation that to discuss with prospective clients on this project and how it can benefit their organization. You can go on and say that the organization does XYZ services, and this solution should be able to address XYZ for that organization. Can you put forth for me a kind of discussion that I can engage with this customer in my meeting with them? Now you will see Copilot is you have put yourself in a role. I'm a software engineer. What am I doing? I have a particular project to deliver. What else am I doing? And the project is on this particular solution. I'm discussing with a client. The client does this. I believe that this solution will address this, and this for the client. Can you put up a conversation, an open conversation that will make me more fruitful in discussing with this client? So Copilot will easily, now it has seen the role you are playing, everything, and is able to generate content for you that you can use for such conversation with your clients. Now, when you are creating your prompts, you should avoid using vague language. As much as possible, make it clear. Don't use things that are meaningless, right? Don't use language that are obsolete. Use something that Copilot can easily relate with. So avoid vague or overly generated prompts. Do not cram too many questions into one. For example, you ask the first question, you ask the next question. You might have asked 5 different build of questions. Copilot is providing response to those build of questions, and then you have something in mind, but you don't want to give Copilot all at once. You have broken it into different points. Now, you then come with exactly what you had in mind. Copilot will be able to relate to the previous conversation and then relate it with what you have in mind now and provide you content that can now achieve what you intend to achieve. So other things we look at, and that's talking about that is talking about iterating your prompt. You keep providing, okay, no, this is not what I want. How about making it this way? Okay, that's not what I want. How about doing it this way? Until Copilot now comes up, able to get the idea you have in mind and come up with something that is going to achieve your goal. Okay, now you must also be curious. So like asking preliminary question, use curiosity to better understand the problem and provide specific instruction. Now you should be polite. Okay, you should be polite when you are giving your prompts. Your prompt should carry politeness as part of the response that Copilot will be giving. You must follow etiquette in terms of your communication, respectfully collaborate, and then you should get responses to your prompts that are going to help you to get Copilot to do the best for you. So I will go ahead and hand over to Mr. Zach at this point as he wraps up our points of discussion with Copilot today. Thank you very much for your time.
Zach, yeah. Are we going to the Copilot Lab today? I guess not. You're on mute.
Yeah, not going. Yeah, we are not looking at Copilot Labs.
Okay.
Due to the lab's limitation.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, thank you so much. Sorry, let me use my class. Thank you so much, and I believe it's been very impactful, right, to everyone. I don't know if there are questions. There are questions on the chat. I don't think there's any. But I think the only question is, would there be a practical of everything we're saying? Yes. Yeah, there will be a practical. That's the Copilot Lab, and hopefully, soon, as soon as we have the license for this, we would make it. We'll do our next Copilot Lab 2.0. But the fundamentals is what we want everyone to have an idea. And I believe that we all have an idea of how this works, and hopefully we can actually, pick it up from there. Sorry, don't mind this boy. Yeah, he's always all over me. Yeah. So. All right. Questions. questions. Yeah, of course, the recording is going to be available. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for your time for this time. And we hope to see you in the next session. So more communications is going to be made available to the people about the next thing that we want to do. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Loashon. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, everyone, for attending this session. And do have a blessed weekend. Bye, everyone. Yes.
All right. Thank you. Bye.